Dearly beloved, we have gathered here on September 14th to celebrate the magic of our collective minds and our abilities to figure out anything when it comes to building these miraculous businesses of ours on the internet and in the real world. The thoughts that were running through my mind earlier today when I was fuzzy in my brain around what I should be doing next, and the words, the wisdom that came through me were, the computer is the vehicle. It's not necessarily it's not the vessel. I am the vessel. The wisdom is inside of me, and the computer is a tool. It's a tool to use in order to get what I'm trying to get in life, but I need to take care of myself in order to use the tool wisely, rather than allowing the tool to distract me from what I'm here to do. And in that moment, I needed a reset. I had already completed several hours worth of tasks. I've been in my brain a lot, responding, communicating, delegating, all the things. And then I was trying to figure out what I could do next in this 30-minute chunk of time I had between the tasks I was doing and the magic mind that we're in right now. And I just felt like I just didn't know what to do with that space. And the reminder that came through me is like, this computer here is a tool. It's also a space of distractions. I need to take care of the vessel. And so I went outside. I went on my rebounder outside my office, and I bounced for 5 minutes in the sunshine and did my breathing and did a bunch of body mobility for 5 minutes. And all of a sudden I was just like, oh, okay. I feel like I have a handle on things. I'm in a better place now. In the process of bouncing, I had about 5 more tasks come to my mind around things that I can do this afternoon to finish off my workday. And I felt better. I felt clearer. I was like, okay, great. I can put those on the shelf while I prepare for this session. So just something to remember. And this is something I try to remember in my day-to-day life, is the computer is only a tool. Do your planning off a computer screen. If you're unsure of what tasks to do, close the computer, put down the phone, pace around the room, go for a walk, grab your journal, start freestyle journaling. These are the ways that we get clear on what to do next. And I think I was talking to you, Jenny, last week around how this journey of entrepreneurship, it's a journey. And so we can only see the horizon that we can see right now based on where we are. So the horizon might be our next 5 to-dos. Our horizon might be the next 10 to-dos. That's the wonderful thing about to-do lists, is that's kind of like laying out our path, our horizon, but we can't see beyond that. So we may not necessarily know what comes after we finish those 5 things, but I guarantee you, if we finish those 5 tasks, there's going to be 3, 4, 5, 10 more tasks that appear as you continue to walk towards the horizon. And the horizon is always moving. It's always there. You're never going to actually get to the horizon. So that's the thing with like building these businesses. This is a journey. The horizon is always going to keep moving as long as you keep walking and taking action. So like Diane, I know you just wrote 10 meditation scripts. Doesn't mean you've arrived at the horizon and the work is done. It just means your to-do list continues to stack up. You continue to pile things onto it, and the horizon is now moved. But you can now see what you couldn't see 10 steps ago, and like, oh, now I'm going to have to do these things, and oh, this is going to be a part of the journey that I have to take on. So as long as we're continually taking inspired action forward with that horizon, we're always going to be walking towards it, and the view is always going to be coming clear on the next things to do after the things that we have to do right now. And this was in my early days of entrepreneurship. I mean, my first year in 2005 was like, I'm going to make $1 million in a year. And that was just like, that was the goal. I got nowhere freaking close to that. There was like, it was so far out of it. And what I struggled with the most was having all these ideas and just spinning my wheels and never really making any progress. And I remember I had always beat myself up around it. And probably after a year or two of struggling financially and always spinning the wheels, I knew what I wanted in life. I wanted to play professional golf. I wanted to have freedom with my time. I wanted to be able to be creative. And so somewhere between 2005 and 2007, as I just started to learn the ropes, I basically just learned that if I'm taking at least one inspired action step every single day, then I'm moving towards the horizon. I'm going in the direction that I want to go, and more things will become clear. And so I would just set the expectation that every day I'm taking one step towards my dream. Here I am now, 18 years later, and I've taken millions of steps. And it's, all because I committed to at least one step a day. And there was days that I didn't know what the steps were. And what the steps were in those days were to like take care of myself, take a step back from the doing, and just dream into like, what do I need to do next? What are the priorities? Am I going in the right direction still? Is this still the direction? And sometimes we do have to take that pause and really check ourselves of like, okay, I've been working my ass off, I've taken 10,000 steps. Am I still on course? Because if you're traveling by boat on the ocean by following the stars, if you're off by 1 or 2 or 5 degrees, you're going to go to a completely different island. So are you still going to the island that you're trying to get to? And that requires just checking in with yourself and taking a step back sometimes. And sometimes that is the best to-do list, is to just take time for yourself, to go on a journey, to contemplate, to write, to journal, to feel, and to ask yourselves the important questions of like, okay, how's this actually going for me? Am I living the life that I want to be living? How can I change and adapt and move things around? And for me, it's a seasonal thing. And I'm coming up to that seasonal check-in with myself because the light's changing in the morning and the afternoon. It's cooler, rhythms, all the different things. So now it's like, okay, what are the fall rhythms? When do I want to schedule my work hours? What days of the week do I want to schedule coaching stuff versus work stuff versus team things? And so for me, I just schedule my Thursdays now that I have 3 partnership projects. I do 30 minutes of planning, a 2-hour session, 30-minute break, 2-hour session, 30-minute break, 2-hour sessions. I have 3 2-hour sessions on my Thursdays, and they might only be 1 hour a session, but then I block off that extra 60 minutes to like do the work, to delegate, to plan, map out, strategize for that specific project, so that in 2 hours a week, I can get a ton of stuff done with these partners that we're working with. So that is a new rhythm for me, that my Thursdays are my long day of the week, that I'll work from 8:30 to 4:30, but that gets a huge chunk of work done, and it makes me feel more at peace, so that my other days I can focus more on the creative stuff, networking, meetings, building this Magic Kids app, and all the other things. So again, these computers in front of us that you're looking at right now, these telephones that we have with us all the time, these are distractions unless we're using them as tools. And if you find yourself distracted, I mean, I will throw this across the room. It's, thank goodness it's got a hard case on it, because when I catch myself distracted, I'm just like, get the hell out of here. And it's just like, I throw it away because it's not serving me. It's not helping me to do it. Any distractions, like if you have social media accounts, log out of them so that you can't easily go to Instagram or Facebook while you're trying to get work done. Just log out, because then you have to consciously type in your password and your name and then log in. And it's like, well, by the time you get to there, you've caught yourself. Do you actually have a purpose for going in there? So this is a part of like what it takes to hone ourselves in, to rein ourselves in, so that we can get the results that we want, and we can get the results we want faster. And this again comes back to my mantra, which you've all probably heard me say 100 times, which is schedule your success, so that you show up to those 1 to 2 hour blocks and you have a specific focus for those blocks of time, so that you have something that you're going to get done. So at the end of the 2-hour session, you can celebrate that, like, okay, you won that game. And if you get it done, if you have 2 hours and you get it done in an hour, then take a break, take a step back and say, okay, I've got another hour. What's the next priority that I can accomplish here? And this is ultimately, this is what it takes, because as each of your businesses grow, once you launch your products, if you're not there yet, you're going to have to get into customer service and schedule time for that. You're going to have to get into tech troubleshooting. You're going to, building the product is the blissful part of the journey. That's the creative stuff of like, yay, I'm making this thing. Then you're going to have to schedule time for marketing and booking interviews and booking opportunities for you to speak, or reaching out to apps to get your stuff on. So there's so many things that go into building this business, not just creating the product. The field of dreams lied to you. If you build it, they will come is a complete and total lie. And so we must be disciplined with our scheduling of our success. We must be disciplined when we have these blocks of times to stay focused on the most important task at hand, to get that thing done so we can move on. Multitasking on a laptop is a hard thing to do. And so have a one-pointed focus, try to close the other windows so that you can just stay focused on the thing that you're trying to do. The piece about the war of art, so real, it's so true. It's the everyday psychological battle we go into if we're trying to create something that's bigger than ourselves in the world. Because the little me, the little us, tries to stop us because it's dangerous. It appears dangerous. Little me doesn't want to get squashed, judged. Little me doesn't want to be pushed away. Little me doesn't want to be rejected by the world. And so that's the internal battle that we all go through. I mean, if you are becoming an entrepreneur, this is warrior training. This is mental, emotional, spiritual, internal warfare, and there is no enemy. The enemy is those unconscious doubts. That is the only enemy that exists in this journey, because people can trash your product, but if they do, you just listen and improve it. People can trash your character, but as they do, you just listen and improve yourself, or you just don't listen to them. So it really is about knowing yourself, knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, knowing how to ask for help, for feedback, and being able to move forward. And I look at this like, as I play professional golf as my hobby, and it's the exact same thing for me. I have a target and a goal, and sometimes I hit it and sometimes I don't. It's about how I recover, and it's about being present, having a strategy, sticking with it, and adapting as you go. And the same thing, like I feel like I play professional golf every single day through my business. Every single day is a 6-hour round or tournament for my mind and my emotions as I build what I'm building at Magic Media and Magic Kids. And all of these pieces, I'm 18 years in, and so my war is less. It's mostly mental and emotional recovery, taking care of my mind and my emotions so that I can have the energy and the clarity and insight to be able to delegate and move things forward. And when I don't take care of myself, it becomes foggy and I become a poor delegator and communicator. So for me, that is mostly it. I can see the many to-dos on my list, and I resist them less than ever. So for everybody, we're all going to have our own struggles. And those are the muscles that we need to be focused on building so that we can move forward with more ease and more grace and more momentum. And the more steps we take, the more days we wake up and we take that 1 or 10 steps, the more momentum we get. And eventually it's like we have the wind at our back. And the metaphor I had was like, this entrepreneur journey is like pushing a boulder up a mountain for years and years and years. And I'm only at the place now where it feels like every once in a while I get these moments where I'm not pushing anymore and I'm actually chasing after the boulder. But then it gets to another crest in the hill and I have to start pushing it back up again. But then I might get to a crest and there's momentum with it. And it took a lot of years. It took a lot of years of pushing the boulder. My hopes are for everybody that your boulders aren't as hard, and hopefully we can all glean wisdom from each other so that the boulders we're pushing up the mountains collectively is easier than doing it alone.